Hello and welcome to the 2024 Honors Awards. My name is Donna Fletcher and I am the first Vice President of Council, as well as Councillor for Manitoba Nunavut and the happy chair of the Honors Committee. I am profoundly honored to share this video with you all today. It's a small measure of the appreciation we feel for the talented and dedicated individuals we are celebrating this year with these awards. As our association inches ever closer to our 50th anniversary, it's almost impossible not to look back at the amazing list of incredibly talented and dedicated artists that we have been proud to honor over the years. Members whose outstanding contributions to our industry, our association, and our craft have set a standard that we can each strive for. What makes these awards exceedingly special is that they are peer-nominated awards, representing not only the thanks of our association, but the appreciation of equity artists like you for the years of support, guidance, and creative inspiration that these artists have given to us. This year, we are excited to welcome a host of new artists to this esteemed group of honorees. We would love to celebrate them in person, but for now we'll celebrate them in this video, and of course, in our hearts. So please enjoy this presentation and join me in giving our recipients a well-deserved round of applause. We are delighted to have equity members as well as other artists from across the country come together to watch this video to celebrate the immense achievements of our 2024 honorees. And as we do so, we should take a moment to always remember that we and our honorees have been privileged to practice this craft we love in this country that was founded on the unceded lands of many people who came before us, people who cherished this art of storytelling long before we got here.
Hello, I'm Scott Bellis, President of Equity Council, and I have the pleasure of introducing the first of 4 artists that we are honoring with Life membership this year. Life membership is awarded to a member of Equity who has made an outstanding contribution to the performing arts in our industry. It recognizes not only an extraordinary career, but also those individuals who have gone above and beyond in supporting other artists, whether through advocacy, mentorship, or the legacy that they have created. Our first recipient of Life membership is a Dora Maver Moore award-winning performer who has been moving audiences across Canada with her performances for nearly 60 years. Throughout her storied career, she has broken new ground and continues to inspire those around her. We are delighted to present Clare Coulter with Life membership in Equity.
It has been my great good fortune to be Clare Coulter's friend, and also my great luck to know her as a colleague and share a stage with her. And together with 5 of our colleagues, Ken Gass, Judith Thompson, Severin Thompson, Lane Coleman, and Alan Forsyth, who wrote beautiful letters of support for this nomination, I'd like to thank Equity for granting Clare this well-deserved Lifetime Achievement Award. Congratulations, Clare. We love you so much because you are the best of us. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Equity, for this great honor. In my acceptance speech, I'd like to say that the actor Edith Evans from a little while ago, great British actor, about her career said it was all luck. And I remember thinking, now, not really. But now I'm going to say it's luck. And the first thing I'd like to say about my luck was that I had parents, both of them were writers. They had a life which was not a great success professionally, and they taught me that if you are lucky and you have exposure, it's great. If you have the disappointment of no exposure, it in no way reflects the quality of your work. So you believe in yourself. And that was the best thing for me to start out in my life, the biggest piece of luck I had. After that, there were, for instance, as a young actor, there were writers my age who were writing roles that I could play. There was Michel Tremblay, there was George Walker, there was Judith Thompson, there was Carol Churchill, there was Wally Shawn. They were writing these great, great roles for me to play. And then there were people who ran theaters, had theaters, who wanted to see me on their stages. That was enormous good luck. And then we had a media who actually focused on local art scene and a readership that was keen to read everything they could about what we local artists were doing. This was a great, great luck I had in my time on the stage, and I wish that for everybody in the future. Thank you.
We are pleased that the Canadian Actors Equity Emerging Artist Award has returned this year. And this is an award recognizing a member who has only recently joined the association, yet has already demonstrated exceptional contributions to our industry early on in their career. And we are also thrilled to add that the Emerging Artist Award includes a $2,000 prize, generously provided by our sponsor, Gail Asper, to help support the continuing work of our honoree. Gail has graciously supported the arts and artists across the country for decades through her private philanthropic work and the work of the Asper Foundation. In her words, a hearty congratulations to the winner of this year's Emerging Artist Award, and bravo to those who celebrate the remarkable artists who make our world a better place. And now I am proud to present the 2024 Emerging Artist Award to Lior Maharjan. Congratulations.
I want to send a hearty congratulations to Lior Maharjan as the Equity Honors Emerging Artist of the Year. Bravo. They have been a powerful member of the Montreal theatre community from the moment they graduated from Concordia. I have seen Lior play an 11-year-old boy, a trans woman in Brazil, and a gender-neutral elf in Santa's Workshop. And every time they hit the stage, they bring talent and joy. As an actor, Lior is a beautiful combination of wit, passion, and incredible style. I've even tried on the same dress in a vintage clothing store with Lior, and I must admit, it looked better on Lior. As a writer, Lior tells stories that are needed in the world right now, bringing diverse and inclusive ideas and sharing a kind of passion and generosity that we are absolutely all grateful for. So it is the best thing in the world to have emerging artists like Lior, because they give us faith in the future of theater, and I'm so happy to have Lior as part of the Montreal theater community. Congratulations and keep going.
It's a privilege to be the recipient of the 2024 Emerging Artist Award and to be recognized alongside this year's honorees. Thank you to the Canadian Actors Equity Association, to my peers and collaborators who make up this industry, and to my friends and family who support me at every step. I'm especially grateful to Julie Tamiko-Mannion, Jenica Griink, and Ida Holmes for nominating me for this award. Julie, you've been my mentor from the jump, and even better, you're a great friend. Jenica, you and Dave were such great hosts when we brought Alphonse to Carousel. Performing for your audience on Granville Island is a highlight of my career so far. Ida, when theaters were struggling to reopen, you offered me my first full engagement equity contract. I've been lucky to work with you in various capacities at Centaur, and I always appreciate your honesty and your presence. I have to shout out my longtime friend, former classmate, and Big T co-founder, Merlin Simard. I love daydreaming and creating with you in any medium, on any topic. To Gail Asper, infinite thanks for supporting and sponsoring this award. Your generous contribution, to say the least, is very impactful. This kind of support for artists is greatly needed, so thank you for bolstering the arts and myself personally. To my partner, Kyle, over the past 5 years, you've been there alongside me for every hardship, every challenge, every accomplishment. You're my favorite self-tape coach, a stellar cast party co-host, and dutiful reader of all my stressful emails. I love you, and thank you for everything. Lastly, here's to exploring the tough questions on stage, to the art of performance, and to supporting and protecting the rights of trans people everywhere. I believe that as storytellers, it is our responsibility to uplift oppressed voices. Land back, end occupation. Thank you.
Our next honoree has spent the last 40-plus years working in his life's passion as a director, educator, playwright, dramaturge, actor, and producer. He is a celebrated artist, and as a 7-time director of the Dora Awards ceremony, he knows a thing or two about celebrating other artists as well. Throughout his decades-long career, he has been a great champion of LGBTQ2+ artists in this country, further demonstrating his commitment not only to our industry, but to our community. It is my honor to bestow life membership in equity to Edward Roy.
Hi everyone. I was delighted to be able to nominate Ed Roy for this award, and I'm thrilled that he's one of the recipients tonight. I first met Ed Roy almost 30 years ago when I was a young playwright at Buddies in Bad Times Theatre, and he was the company dramaturge and associate artistic director. And ever since then, we've been good friends, and he's been a mentor to me, as he's been a mentor to artists across the country for his full career. And what a career that's been. It's been over 40 years of working as a director and playwright and actor and dramaturge and teacher and lecturer and producer. Really, he's done it all. And his career would be envied by anybody in the industry. I've always been struck by his energy and his enthusiasm and his intelligence and his passion for theater, working at such a high level of skill and talent and artistry and craft, on par with the greatest artists we have in the country. The last time I saw Ed, he was working on 3 brand new theater projects, and he was so energized and he had a twinkle in his eye, and he was so looking forward to starting to work with his collaborators. Really, he continues to be an inspiration to artists across the country and to me personally. And so for that reason, I think that there's no one more deserving of this award. Congratulations, Ed.
Hi. I'd like to thank Equity for the Equity Honors Award. I'm truly grateful for this award, and I must say it was a complete surprise. When I first received notice of it, I thought it was a prank. But it was real. I got the letter. So I want to thank you all for this and Equity's support throughout the years. I'd also like to thank my colleague and dear friend Robert Tonis for nominating me. I wish you all the best, and once again, thank you for this award. It is truly appreciated.
The Larry McCance Award is given to a member or former staff person in recognition of their outstanding contributions to the association and its membership. Larry McCance was elected the first chair of the Canadian wing of Equity in 1955. He served on many committees and was a Canadian representative until his untimely passing in 1970. He was an able and dedicated contributor to the sometimes rocky early days of our association. According to a description of him in Vernon Chapman's History of the Association, McCance was short and stocky with graying hair, a dapper mustache, and a wicked sense of humor. Chapman described McCance further and said, "He also seemed to be quite imperturbable, which concealed the great concern he felt for Equity, for its members, and the theatre in general. He hated having anything tight around his neck, so he would loosen his tie, which added to the impression that he was a tough little union boss, an impression he did not discourage. But he never regarded an opposing negotiator as his enemy and admonished those on his negotiating teams not to take matters personally." That was excellent advice. His legacy lives on through the Larry McCance Award, which is given to those who have made a meaningful contribution to the work of Equity over a period of time.
Hello. I'm Carrie Davidson, Equity member from BC and the Yukon, and former councillor and first vice president of Equity. The Larry McCance Award holds a special place in the heart for members here on the West Coast, partly because he made his home here, and also because it includes past recipients like Don Wright and Louis-Marie Bourneval, and of course the amazing Jane Heyman. It's an award that's presented to equity members or former staff members who have gone above and beyond and made outstanding contributions to equity and our membership. Lynn McQueen fits the bill on both counts. As an equity stage manager, she was a fierce advocate for members of our association who often felt unheard and unrecognized. She and Alan Teichman, also a past recipient of this award, formed the Stage Management Committee. That committee has been going strong for 30 years. I first met Lynn when she had recently been hired as the opera business rep for Equity, again fighting for the voice and rights of members who felt unheard and unseen. I really got to know Lynn, though, after I joined Equity Council and she was appointed as our communications director. That job requires tact and compassion, and Lynn had that in abundance. She was recognized by her peers at our sister organizations from around the world as being someone who could walk that line with diplomacy. She had to balance the needs of our membership, our staff, and council, all of us working towards the same goal, but not always clear on the way we wanted to get there. Lynn and Doug Irons and Keith Davidson, also past recipients of this award, also served as the institutional memory for our association, and that was invaluable for those of us on council who were trying to make the best decisions in the best interests of our members. And she always reminded us to listen for those quiet voices. And of course, who could forget the beautiful and elegant award ceremonies that Lynn organized? She made everyone in the room feel special, whether you were getting an award or just there for the party. And I think it was the last ceremony that we had in person that Lynn organized the entire thing from her hospital bed. And of course, the evening went off without a hitch. Once a stage manager, always a stage manager. I know that I'm not alone in wishing that Lynn were here with us to celebrate. I hope that Peter, her husband, knows how much we love Lynn and how valuable she was to our association. Thank you, Lynn, for everything.
Thank you very much for this award. For awarding Lynn McQueen with the Larry McCance Award this year in recognition of her dedication and contributions to CAEA. Lynn was very proud of her connection with Equity. She considered a calling to serve the needs and concerns of Equity members, and she cared deeply for the world of live performance in Canada. Lynn was very active in the theatre scene, starting at McGill University, and devoted herself to a full-time career afterwards in stage management. I remember how proud she was to receive her first Equity Stage Management credit and how hard she worked as an apprentice and later a stage manager at the Centaur Theatre in Montreal. She worked for the next 10 years, both at the Centaur and elsewhere, including the Banff Centre, Stephenville Festival, the Piggery Theatre in North Hadley, Neptune Theatre in Halifax, and a national tour with the Canadian Armed Forces celebrating their 50th anniversary of D-Day. She also stage managed for 3 years at the Just for Laughs Festival in Montreal. Lynn began advocating to improve artists' working conditions as a member of the Equity Stage Management Committee, before finally joining the staff at Equity in 1998 as a business representative. She worked at Equity and combined her love of theatre and her proud family background in the labor movement. She knew firsthand the challenges of a career in the arts and considered it an honor to be supporting working professional artists who, despite their many talents, all too often find themselves in precarious situations, even in the best of times. Lynn later became the communications director at Equity, and she worked to transform the role into an essential element of Equity's progressive mandate. She produced a greatly enhanced publication of EQ magazine, of which she was very proud. And another of her favorite accomplishments was the immensely successful Equity, Diversion, and Inclusion Survey, which was years ahead of many other organizations and received many compliments for this achievement from both levels of government as well as from other sister arts organizations. Lynn's own health became of great concern when she was diagnosed in 2015 with inclusion body myositis, a degenerative disease with no available treatment or therapy. She gradually lost muscular function in her legs, in her hands, and with the muscles associated with swallowing. In spite of her medical condition and her failing health, Lynn never wavered from her dedication to her job. When she began having trouble to drive safely to work, she began using wheel-trans to get to the office. When even that became too risky, we created a home office so she could continue to serve the membership. When COVID hit, she worked twice as hard, trying in every way possible to communicate with the membership and to advocate on their behalf in order to get the supports and recognition that they deserved. Lynn worked many extra hours, partly because she saw it as her duty, and partly to compensate for her own diminishing physical abilities. Her condition affected every aspect of her work, including her ability to type, and was painful and heartbreaking to watch her sacrifice her own health to continue to serve the membership that she cared so deeply for and her colleagues. Lynn literally worked up to the very last day of her life. She worked hard, but she also loved to have fun. And I have many memories of overhearing her chats with colleagues, members, and others on Zoom, and her irrepressible laughter bubbling up out of the office. And Lynn did really care about the arts. We saw every performance that we could together: theater, dance, opera, not to mention the visual arts and music. I wish I could have seen Lynn receive this recognition during her lifetime. She cared so deeply for all of you. I don't know if she was ever aware of how much her work was appreciated. She would have been very moved by this award. So thank you, everyone.
Hello, I'm Jane Heyman. We artists are so fortunate to do what we love and to share that joy with others. As we celebrate and honor the incredible work of our fellow artists who have touched our hearts, we must also remember those we have sadly lost in recent years. They've made us smile, they've made us cry. And as you look at the images that follow, I hope you remember many times when they inspired you. The song may have ended, but the melody lingers on.
Honorary membership in Equity is awarded to an individual who has made an exceptional contribution to the association or to our industry for the benefit of Equity members. Honorary membership is our way of saying, you're one of us. For decades, Zelda ran the Glenmore Dinner Theatre in Calgary, providing opportunities to scores of actors and designers, as well as stage managers early in their career. A great many artists have thanked Zelda Dean for helping them get their start. As a patron of the arts, Zelda sponsored a number of scholarships for young and emerging theatre practitioners, and she would go on to become the founder and managing artistic director of Bema Productions, a theatre group in Victoria, continuing her mission to foster and encourage the development of new artists. It is our great pleasure to present honorary membership to the incredible Zelda Dean.
Hello, my name is Kevin McKendrick. This year we're recognizing Zelda Dean with the Canadian Actors Equity Association Honorary Membership Award. Zelda grew up in Calgary in the 1940s. She was active in drama at her school and in her faith community. In 1969, she, along with her husband Bill and another couple, founded the Beth Israel Players, which ran for a decade under Zelda's stewardship. The company was the largest community theater in the city of Calgary at its time. Zelda left the company to open the Glenmore Dinner Theatre, which ran for 11 seasons. Now, the Glenmore Dinner Theatre would do about 6 plays a year, and they would hire approximately 40 actors, professional and non-professional, in order to put on their productions. In 1993, Zelda then opened another dinner theatre called the Marquee Dinner Theatre. Now, touring has always been a big part of Zelda's plan. It's very dear to her heart. So the Glenmore Dinner Theatre would often tour some of its productions to rural communities in Alberta, sometimes 20 communities per year. Through her efforts, Zelda, without even knowing about it, had created an environment where actors and technicians, professional and non-professional, could work in their own home city for much longer periods of time, rather than having to hit the road to make a living. This was very rare in Calgary at the time, and much appreciated. With the closure of the Beth Israel Players and the dinner theaters, Zelda then distributed the company's assets to other members of the theater community. For example, she gave lights and sets to companies like Rosebud and Chemainus. And with the money that was left over from her operations, she converted that money into scholarships. And those scholarships found their way into theater training programs at both Mount Royal College and the University of Calgary for many years after that. Zelda moved to Victoria, British Columbia, where she founded yet another company, Bema Productions. Now in its 10th season, the company does about 3 shows a year and uses a mixture of recent graduates from theater schools plus seasoned community theater performers. Bema Productions tours some of its productions to the Gulf Island, and recently, in order to meet a need about the lack of education on the Holocaust in the school system, Zelda has formed a society around the play Survivors and is touring that throughout the Vancouver Island area. In her 83rd year, she's taking 40 productions to schools and communities. And in 2025, that show, Survivors, is expected to tour the Lower Mainland. Please join me in celebrating Zelda Dean's significant contribution to theater, its artists and technicians over the past 55 years.
I'd like to start out by thanking Kevin McKendrick for presenting me for this lovely honor, and Caroline Russell King for writing so eloquently on my behalf. These two people are Canadian treasures. And of course, I want to thank the membership for voting for me. It is quite thrilling, after hiring so many equity actors over the years, that I'm now a member myself. I feel really fortunate that I was born at the right time, to be in the right places, to cross paths with the right people. I even met my sweet husband of 62 years on stage, and he shared my passion for making theater. His joy was after we had finished our long Calgary runs, and we would have tours set up to small rural communities. Bill's joy was making those performances happen, no matter how bad the venues were, and sometimes they were terrible. I've actually had a love affair with theater for over 50 years. As an actress, a singer, a director, a producer, and someone who could tell the stories that only theater can tell. I've had the enormous gift of working with many Holocaust survivors over the years as they bravely told their stories to thousands of students. And I've had the joy of mentoring such incredible young talent on their journeys to professional careers. They are the future of theater, and I'm so grateful. My work has given me a really satisfactory artistic life. I've always felt grateful that I was allowed to do it for the majority of my life. And when I thought about why, it's because it has nurtured me. It's entertained me. It's surprised me and often enlightened me. In retirement, I'm really grateful that I now have the luxury of my work raising money for charities and nonprofits that are really in need. And I'm proud that I am the director and producer of an educational play that is touring to middle and secondary schools, addressing hate and racism through the lens of the Holocaust. This year, by the way, we will reach over 3,000 students. So I feel that I have received much, much more than I could ever have given. I never really expected any recognition for something that gave me so much satisfaction and so much joy. I think actually that's why receiving this honor is just so sweet. Thank you.
Our next recipient of Life membership is David Warrack. There isn't much David hasn't done in his nearly 40-year career in musical theater. He is a composer, conductor, pianist, vocalist, lyricist, librettist, arranger, orchestrator, music director, satirist, comedian, actor, poet, producer, impresario, and bon vivant. He has created or collaborated on 63 professionally produced musicals, including some of the longest-running productions in Canadian theatrical history. Truly deserving of Life membership and equity, I give you David Warrack.
Hello, I'm Leslie Ballantyne, nominator for David Warrack for lifetime membership in our association. David has had and continues to have a successful career as a musical director, pianist, arranger, orchestrator, composer, conductor, producer, and teacher in all facets of our entertainment business. He's produced 86 musicals and 12 musicals for children, and worked with a list of celebrities so long I can't take time to name them all here. As awesome and impressive as this list of accomplishments is, they do not form the basis of my nomination. I've had the pleasure of knowing David as a friend and a work colleague for 45 years. And during that time, I've watched him reorganize his busy schedule, whenever possible, to volunteer to MD fundraisers and benefits for numerous organizations. David also seemed to be the first person called to help organize, play piano, or organ for the many funerals and celebrations of life as our colleagues passed away. These donations of his time and talent and his compassion for the members of our community are what I think worth celebrating with this award. Congratulations, David, and thank you so very much for your love and compassion for our community.
Needless to say, I was very honored to receive a lifetime membership from Canadian Actors Equity. None of us in this industry do what we do for awards. We do it because it defines who we are. And those of us who are lucky enough to survive the inevitable tough times are continually appreciative of the successes. It would be impossible to thank everyone who's been a part of my journey. Without the guidance I received along the way and the shared wisdom and the unending support, I can't imagine how I would have enjoyed so many beautiful experiences over the years. I'm constantly amazed and amused that my participation continues, and I will never take it for granted that these many opportunities still present themselves. Above all, I am so grateful to my family, my beautiful wife Lona, my remarkable children, Gordon, Kelley, Levi, and their wonderful partners, Jessica, Patrick, and Catalina, and 4 awesome grandchildren, Alexis, Grayson, Griffin, and me. Plus bonus, my niece Cindy and her Bob. Thank you very much for your kindness for this honor. It was such a joy and continues to be such a joy being in this industry, and I will never thank you enough.
This year, we are pleased to present, for the very first time, Equity's inaugural Changemaker Award. The Changemaker Award is presented to an Equity member in recognition of their efforts to further the values of diversity and inclusion in the performing arts. And I can think of no one more deserving of this award than David Connolly. During his 30-plus year career, David has been a true artist as well as an advocate. A double below-knee amputee, he is a performer, director, choreographer, artistic director, educator, and inspiration for so many of us. An initiator of actionable steps to improve disabled representation in the arts. So, it is my honor to bestow the inaugural Changemaker Award to the wonderful and inspirational David Connolly.
It is our great honor to present the inaugural Changemaker Award to a truly extraordinary individual, David Connolly. This award recognizes his tremendous impact in furthering the values of diversity and inclusion in the performing arts. David Connolly is the Associate Artistic Director of Drayton Entertainment and Director of Education for their Youth Academy. He has spearheaded initiatives like the Youth Education Program and the Actors Fund of Canada Benefit Cabaret Series, directing over 30 stage productions that resonate with audiences of all ages. He is also an active disability and inclusion advocate. As a double below-knee amputee, David is not only a trailblazer, he is deeply committed to changing the statistic of being the first and only male amputee to have performed on Broadway.
David is a recipient of the Ontario Premier's Award of Excellence, an active member on the Equity, Diversity and Inclusion Committee of the International Musical Theatre Educators Alliance. As an educator, David has been an adjunct professor and advisor to the musical theatre performance programs at Western University, Wilfrid Laurier University, Sheridan College, Randolph College, Vandercook College, and most recently the Hopkins Center for the Arts at Dartmouth College.
For the past 4 years, David has curated and moderated a disability and inclusion panel at BroadwayCon in New York City, and has served as a peer assessor for the Canada Council for the Arts, laying down actionable steps to enhance disability representation in the arts.
As a director and educator, he strives to create a more inclusive, accessible, equitable performing arts landscape for all, displaying that anything is possible and art is better when you decide that everyone is welcome.
David's commitment to youth is unparalleled. He champions equitable and inclusive principles, fostering an environment where diversity thrives. His role as an ambassador for the Shriners Hospital for Children and the War Amps Child Amputee Program further exemplifies his dedication to empowering the next generation. He is not just leading change, he is embodying it, creating a special environment where youth can grow in togetherness, inclusion, and joy.
When initially coming across the Changemaker Award, there was only one person I could think of. David Connolly. In every aspect of his life, both professionally and personally, David changes the world for the better. Since meeting David as a youth chorus member in 2014, I always felt deeply supported by him. My peers would echo the same. Words to describe David across the board surround the idea of kindness, brightness, and joy. All the things that we as humans are drawn to. He uses this draw for good and to advocate for those who need it most.
changing every single life he comes across. More recently, I've begun to connect with David as a mentor and a friend. Through these relationships, I've seen the authentic desire for change that exists within him. There's no front, no Wizard of Oz-like curtain, that's just who he is. He wants the best for everyone and will stop at nothing to help those who have been traditionally barred from theatrical spaces find success. Whatever that means for them, he will make it happen.
David is not just a director, choreographer, and educator. He is a titan of the industry whose influence stretches far and wide. Personally, I am lucky to call him my dear friend and mentor for the past 10 years. Stuck together like Velcro, I can confidently say my life and career would not have taken the same trajectory without David's guidance and support. David inspires through empathy and resilience, and his passion and genuine nature reverberate in all that he does. His impact knows no bounds, and his advocacy is vital. He strives to create change through education, leading with kindness and a caring heart. If you've had the pleasure of meeting or working with David, you know what I mean when I talk about the Connolly magic. It is an energy that uplifts, inspires, and connects us all.
Today we celebrate David Connolly, not just for his incredible achievements, but for the invaluable light he brings to our community.
David Connolly and Changemaker are synonymous. That's why we're so happy to be presenting this award to him.
Congratulations, my friend. You are truly a remarkable change maker.
Hi, thank you. I am so grateful. I am so energized by the idea of this conversation and by the hope that at some point in the future we may not need an award for diversity and inclusion in the performing arts. It will be so ingrained in what we do and the decisions we make that we don't need to recognize it. But until then, thank you very much. On behalf of all of the change makers across this country, and there are many, thank you for entering a conversation about the barriers that have existed traditionally, the cultural, financial, physical, emotional, geographic, all of the things that we need to take action. It's more than just talking and being aware. It is what are we doing daily to help change the demographic. And one of the ways I suggest that we all agree on is education and training, that we make sure that now that the wave of inclusion is upon us, it's not coming, it's here. What can we do to prepare people for the opportunities so that when they do get the chance on stage, backstage, in the office, in the boardroom, creatives, that they thrive because they have the lived experience, not only of their community, but of the community of the performing arts. So I could go on for days. I won't, because I only have time left to thank the committee, to thank everybody at Equity and in Equity, the people who nominated me, the people who wrote the letters of support, and most especially to the people who want to be in Equity, the people who are singing into their hairbrushes in their bedrooms, hoping one day to be in a professional show. Keep going. It's possible. Anything is possible. Thank you to Alex Mistakis and everybody at Drayton Entertainment for allowing me to step into this advocacy space. And thank you to Stephen Shipper, who gave me my very first ever Equity job and told me lovingly that Ascast wasn't a character in Carousel, and went on to explain what it meant. I called him at the Huron Country Playhouse to say that I was upset that I had gotten the libretto to Carousel and I couldn't find my character Ascast. So he explained it, and I have loved every minute ever since. Thanks again.
Our final recipient of Life membership in 2024 is Kelley McKinlay. A native of Edmonton, Kelley first joined the Alberta Ballet at the age of 17 and almost immediately became one of their star dancers. He would go on to spend his entire 20-year career at Alberta Ballet, thrilling audiences here in Canada and touring the world. He found applause and he found love, marrying fellow dancer Riley Bell during his time with the company. Beyond his work on stage, Kelley became an esteemed member of Equity's bargaining team for a number of negotiations with Alberta Ballet, demonstrating his commitment to not only his craft, but also to his fellow artists. In recognition of his extraordinary career and enduring dedication, it gives me great pleasure to present life membership in Equity to Kelley McKinlay.
Hello friends, my name is Blair Puente, Equity member, arts administrator, and former dancer with Kelley McKinlay for just over a decade. I first met Kelley in Banff when he was 14 years of age. It was already so clear that he was a force to be reckoned with. Kelley had such fashion sense that he managed to make braces cool, and already had hair that would become legendary. In the studio, Kelley has the most remarkable memory I have ever seen. He can remember choreography with photographic accuracy. This led him to excel in rehearsal direction and repetiteur roles today, but was something that we all valued in the studio. You could always rely on Kelley to be as accurate and much faster than any video from rehearsal. At Alberta Ballet, I was just one of Kelley's mentors and predecessors on being an Equity deputy. We reviewed articles, collaborated on communications committee meetings, and compared notes for negotiations. You will hear many more of Kelley's professional accolades, but what's most important in my mind is Kelley's authentic compassion for his friends and colleagues. Kelley truly has an omnipresent desire to protect his fellow artists, whether as an official advocate or just when he sees a better way of doing something. Here's what is really amazing to me though. Even though Kelley is a wildly respected and massively successful dancer, he is also just a fantastic goof. There was a year when we were granted creative license at a photo shoot for the season brochure to choose a costume from wardrobe for our official photos. Remembering that Kelley was and is a very attractive man, there was some conversation and concern when he arrived at the photo shoot in the 4-foot spherical costume for Tweedledee Tweedledum from Alice in Wonderland. No one can make you laugh like Kelley, and no one is more deserving of this award. Congratulations on everything you have done for your craft, your art form, and for the Canadian Actors Equity Association. To Kelley.
Hi, I'm Kelley McKinlay, and I am the recipient of the Lifetime Membership Award. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is truly an honor to be accepting this award from Canadian Actors Equity Association. I am deeply touched and humbled to be recognized in this way, especially by my peers, the very people who know firsthand the dedication, the passion, and the resilience it takes to be in this incredible industry. The performing arts has been my life's work, but also my life's joy. The theater, the stories we tell, and the connection we make with our audiences are what give me purpose. To have spent my career surrounded by individuals who share that same passion is the greatest privilege. Now, this award is more than just a personal achievement. It is a testament to the collective power of our community, and I share this recognition with all those who have walked alongside me on this journey. My colleagues, my mentors, and all those who continue to push the boundaries of what we can create and achieve together. Now, as we continue to face challenges as a community, I'm constantly reminded of the power we possess. The arts have always been a reflection of society, a space to challenge, a space to inspire, and a space to bring change. And I'm so excited to continue this journey by supporting the next generation of performers and ensuring that our voices remain strong. Lastly, thank you so much to everyone who has supported me through my career and along this incredible journey. This moment means more than you know, and I will treasure it always. Thank you.
Congratulations once more to all of our 2024 Honors nominees. And on behalf of the Honors Committee and your Equity Council, I want to thank you all for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time, live and in person. Take care, and all the best for the new year.